Welcome to Essentially Encouraging with Betty, where there's encouragement in every stitch. Today we're going to be making a kitchen towel boa. Everything you need will be in the description. Take your kitchen towel and be sure to cut off all tags. Then fold it in half hamburger style and cut at the fold. This will give you 2 equal towels. Set one to the side, and then the one you're going to be working with, make sure it is right side up. Fold it in half again, and then you're going to make a press with your iron at the top. This just creases the center. We're going to be doing some folds, and finding the center will be essential. Fold it back out, fit right sides up, and bring each edge into that center crease. Make sure that they are up against each other, but not over each other. Now take that edge and fold it back on itself to where it's now again on the outer edge, but makes a little sandwich. We're going to do that with both sides. This is a good time to take your iron and do a little press, as we're about to flip it, and ironing it will help it keep its shape a little bit. Once you get both sides pressed, it's then time to flip it over. Once flipped, find that center again and take that whole sandwich of each side and flip it into the center. You want them to butt up right against each other, but not overlap. You want it tidy and neat because this is how it's going to hang when it's sewn. So be sure you have it how you like it. Once you get it there, it's a good time to press it again, and then you're going to pin the tops. We're going to do the exact same thing with the other one. So you'll have 2 towels folded the same and pinned and ready for the rest of the project. Take one of them and measure the top across. Then you're going to multiply that by 2 and add at least 1 inch. If you have a thicker towel like mine is, I'm adding 1.5 inches. So mine measured 4. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus my added 1.5 inches will give me 9.5 inches. That is the width that I need my fabric to be cut to. So when you get your fabric out, however it comes from the bolt, that's your length. So put your salvage end, for me I have it to my right, and I folded it over, salvage end to salvage end. And then I'm going to fold it over one more time. This just helps me be able to cut simpler, where it's not so long. So make sure they're nice and tidy, everything's squared up so that your cut will be straight. And then I'm going to measure down 9.5 inches. You can use a ruler or you can use your cutting mat. Each of those squares on the grid are 1 inch. So I'm going to measure down 9.5 inches and cut straight across. I'm using my rotary cutter, but you can use fabric scissors if that's what you have. Either's fine. Set the extra aside. Unfold your fabric and have it right sides up. After you cut the salvage end off. Now we're going to unfold our fabric and have it right sides up. And we're going to fold it in half where our short edges come together. I like to have my folded end on my left. And then you're going to fold it one more time up this time. So I will have a fold to my left and a fold down at the bottom. So you're going to make a small little cut, just maybe 1/8 of an inch, on the fold of the raw edge side. Unfortunately, I didn't get that in the camera. I apologize. Now on the other side, you're going to measure in 2 inches and make just a little notch at the top of the edge, the raw edges. Not at the bottom fold, but at the raw edges. All right, now take one of your towels and your fabric. We're going to lay the fabric out right side up. Notice your notch. That marked your center. So you're going to match up the right side of your fabric with the right side down of your towel in the middle. So you want each middle to match. Right sides together. Fabric right side up, towel right side down. You can clip them together. Then you're going to bring the sides of your fabric over your towel just to make sure you have enough seam allowance. Preferably, it's good to have at least 1/2 inch seam allowance. So let's see if I cut this one right or not. Looks pretty good to me. So I know I have enough seam allowance. So now we're going to take each side and pull them in. Make sure they're tight, yet not so tight that it's bunching up the towel. And this time, we're going to clip them together. And then we're going to take it to the sewing machine and sew about 1/2 inch in, about 1/4 of an inch down. You do not want to sew all the way across because this is just to tack it. And you want to do this to both ends with both of your towels. Now it's time to sew up the long seam. Make sure your towels are tucked neatly inside. And then you're going to pin all the way down until you get to the notches that you cut earlier. Those notches are telling you where not to sew. That is what you need to turn your project back out to the right sides. So pin or clip all the way down, making sure your towel is not getting bunched up, but that it's not too loose either. So find your notches and be sure not to sew in between your notches. So you've got a knot, about 3 inches knot to sew. So get it all clipped up. I like to use a red clip where I need to stop and a green clip where I need to start back. That just helps remind me, hey, I need to stop here. So take it to your sewing machine and sew down. And then you're going to sew across each end, all the way across this time, fully attaching the towel. Now it's time to turn it out. Find your hole and gently start pulling the towels out. Sometimes this takes a little time. Once you get your towels both out, you want to give everything a good press. We're almost done. Not much left to do now. We need to sew up our hole that we pulled everything through, and then we need to top stitch the top of each towel. So give it a good little press. So that's what it looks like top stitched. And then you just do a small, as close as you can to the end, stitch to sew up the hole. Happy sewing!